Oh, my name is Drew. I'm founder at Trellis Club. We do cloud-based bookkeeping and QuickBooks Online. We work with a lot of e-commerce sellers, but just wanted to do a quick video here on if you're just setting up Shopify, or you want to figure out how does it work between QuickBooks and Shopify? Should I pay for a sync app, or should I just do it myself? I just want to show you a real quick way for smaller stores that we do, just that doesn't cost you any extra money. And so what we found with some of the sync apps, although those can be helpful for certain stores, one, it costs money, a monthly fee, and two, most people who sell online really want to see that on their books uh, a monthly view, but doesn't necessarily need the nitty gritty details of every transaction into their books. And so what we will do a lot is grab the monthly detail, make an entry into QuickBooks Online, and then just make sure it all agrees that your Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever platform you sell on agrees. So we're going to use my wife's shop here as an example. She upcycles vintage books and that people are throwing away, that they're getting rid of. And what she'll do is she'll take them and remake them into new journals, sketch pads, those kind of things. So Renew by Jamie. But it's a really cool gift. So what we did, is she actually sells a lot at like vintage markets and things, and then we launched a website for her. This is actually a WordPress site, and then what we have linked is Shopify Lite, or the Shopify Buy button, where we can just embed a code onto a WordPress site, and this is within her shop, linked to Shopify. So the actual cart is all powered by Shopify here. Once we start getting more online orders, we'll probably just upgrade it to just the $29-a-month Shopify plan. But we just thought, because she does most in person, that we're going to stick with just trying to do the most cost effective for now. So what I'm going to do is just show you real quick how I make an entry, because I haven't done this for a while for her. And so I thought it could be a good test. So I have that. And then we also have a QuickBooks Online account set up for her. You can see my other video on setting up a QuickBooks Online and Shopify, the chart of accounts and those things. You can download a free chart of accounts by going to thetrellisclub.com/ecommerce. It's a good thing that you can bring in, and I show you in the video how to import those chart of accounts right into QuickBooks Online if you launch a new QuickBooks Online file. We also can get you a discount for a year on QuickBooks Online. You just email info@thetrellisclub.com. We can launch a new QuickBooks Online file for you for, I think it's about 20 or 30% off for your first year. So just let us know on that. So what we have here is one account that we put in before I'm going to do this is we added a bank account in QuickBooks Online that we call Shopify Holding. So this is what you want to do. You want to have a bank account called Shopify Holding. And so we've got that bank checking, I put it in as a checking account under a new account right here. And so what we're going to do is any sales or deposits that come through Shopify that hit the bank account when Shopify batch deposits it, we're gonna throw it to this Shopify Holding account, and I'll show you what I mean. So if you go into Banking tab, again, this is where you would connect your bank accounts. We always say if you're a small seller, just have one. We've got checking and savings, so you can have checking and savings account and then one credit card. We love the Spark Business 2% cashback Visa, but make sure it links with QuickBooks Online. A lot of times the bank cards that you get at the bank aren't the best as far as rewards, as far as rewards, and as far as just how they sync into QuickBooks. So we've had a lot of issues. If you've a major bank, there's no issue, but if you have a smaller bank, we've had a lot of issues with smaller bank credit cards linking. So just try and get something that you can put all your business expenses on, you get a percentage back, and you can set it to auto pay. And you don't carry a balance, you don't take fees, there's nothing. You just get money on paying for all your supplies on it. That's a side topic. But so here's her checking account. And as you can see, I haven't been good at updating this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a rule here. And I'm going to say, you see how it's deposited from Shopify transfer. What I want to do is hit this, create a rule from this transaction after I set up the bank account. And I want to, whenever the bank description or the bank text contains Shopify transfer, I'm going to say deposit Shopify and put it to Shopify holding account. Okay, so that's going to, whenever the bank, it deposits, it's going to automatically throw it into the Shopify holding account. The reason I don't just put this to sales is because, and I set it to auto categorize, so it auto did it. You may occasionally find some that don't, so I'm just going to manually add this. Again, for QuickBooks Online, make sure you have a vendor. You're assigning the category. This is just QuickBooks trying to guess on what it is. So don't ever hit add until you have assigned a vendor and a category to that. So I'm going to go with Shopify holding for this. This is another Shopify transfer. For some reason, the bank text came back different. So I'm going to just put that to it. So, all right, not now. I mean, I could change the rule. You can manage the rules right here. I'm going to just take this Shopify transfer the X out. So if it's got to be exact, so you want to put something that will for sure grab it as far as the bank text, but isn't overly specific for like one transaction. So that just threw that other Shopify holding account in there. Okay. And so that is the step there for that. And so now that we're putting all our deposit for Shopify that came, again, we're using Shopify Payments. Let me just show you on that. We always recommend, if you at all possible, especially if you just got a small, e-commerce store, don't take 18 different types of credit card processors. Because it just creates a lot of administrative work. Shopify Payments works with which is linked with Stripe or set up with Stripe. They take Apple Pay, they take every card imaginable pretty much. And so one thing to note is if you just have one credit card processor, it's going to make your life way easier just to reconcile out. A lot of people will add PayPal to their store. I don't ever recommend that just for small stores because, again, we treat PayPal just like a bank account. So then you link your PayPal account and you're going to have to reconcile PayPal as well as Shopify Payments. And so I just say, if at all possible, just use one payment processor. So you can do that under settings in Shopify. You can go in here under payment providers, and we've signed Jamie up for Shopify Payments. Which is right here. Again, they take just about everything here. If you see within Shopify Payments, standard transaction fees as you grow in volume, and you have different Shopify plans, you can definitely get better rates. But what we're going to do is, I just want to show you that because we're throwing everything to Shopify Payments, right? Anything that comes in online. So now we're going to get to booking the entry. So I'm going to do, I don't think she had any sales in August. We haven't, we've recently moved, so we haven't done as much this year with her business. But I'm just going to show you what I would do for July here. So what I'm going to do is go to reports, and the report's called Finances Summary, and then I'm going to filter by date. Because I don't think she had any sales in August. She had one in July. This is a preview of this sales. So what I'm going to do here is first, I'm just going to save this as a PDF because I like to attach these to the actual entry in QuickBooks Online. Again, this is an entry that you would do once a month. If you don't want to, pay to have a sync app, do it. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes probably to do once you do it. For some reason, that's not saving. So let me just what we're going to do. So we're going to grab this info, and then we're going to let me see if I've set a okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new sale receipt. So I'm just going to teach you how I do this to record. We are using QuickBooks Online Plus, which allows for recurring transactions, everything. I would say if you've got a small e-commerce store, you could get by with Essentials. QuickBooks just is increasing their pricing recently, and so Plus is like $70 a month. I'd say most places don't need that. Essentials, I think, is at $40 a month. Again, we could get you a discount on that for a year if you want there. What I'm going to do is create a new customer. I'm going to say Shopify customer. And I'm going to hit save. I don't need it. I don't need details for this one. And then what I'm going to do is Shopify sales. And I'm going to create a new product service. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to add this. I'm just going to put it as a service. And then I'm going to say income account. Now, she only sells notebooks on Shopify right now. And so I have a notebook sales income account. Again, there's a discussion of what you want to see. Some people just basically want what you could have is just Shopify sales account here. This is if you want to record your sales by category, and I'll do some more videos on that, on how to set that up as far as within that tracking category and stuff, where you can make this entry essentially by category too. But for right now, what I recommend if you're just starting out, just create an income account that says Shopify sales instead of something like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to map it there. We're going to say this is taxable here. And so what we're going to do is say non-taxable, and then I'm going to add Shopify sales, same thing, taxable. And we've set up sales tax in QuickBooks Online. I believe we've set it up. Maybe we haven't. But what I want to do, this is where on the sale receipt you would tell this, QuickBooks whether to apply tax or not to it. So what we want to do is if there are some sales where she charges tax on it, we want to make sure we record those properly. Okay, and then next we're going to do discounts, which I already have, and that's going to map to a discounts line. Again, discounts goes against on the top line of the income statement against your Shopify sales. So right under Shopify sales or notebook, you can have discounts. Next thing we're going to do is refunds. Again, just create these as I'll show you how I would create a new one. For example, you could do discounts and refunds service. And then what I have here, you'll see under the 4000s, discounts / refunds, 40/50. So I'm just going to map to that. Now you'll see how we'd put these in would be actually a negative amount on the sale receipt, but they do sit on the top line. These aren't taxable, so I'm not going to track tax for that. And then hit save and close. So I'm just setting this up for what an entry would look like here. And then we have shipping collected. See discounts, returns. So we're going to add a shipping collected here. Okay. And then we're going to also do a Shopify fees. And again, I'm going to map this as a service. I don't think I've got Shopify fees, so I'm going to add a new account under expenses. I like to choose other miscellaneous service costs just because I don't ever use the detailed accounts. So we have credit card fees, and so I'm going to actually do this under 6236. So I'm going to put this underneath credit card fees to be Shopify fees. So these are going to be the credit card processing fees. Let me just make sure that non-taxable. Save and close. Okay, so what you have here is your entry ready to go as far as where you can now take the data that you have from Shopify, and it's simply inputting this. So what we're going to do is I've got the summary here. So gross sales was $20. So I'm going to put, and again, well, not again, but taxes was 0. So what would I do if taxes were, if taxes were $3 or whatever? Whatever they would take on the taxes, I would actually do 3. So say taxes said $3, just for those who are checking sales tax. She didn't have a sale within our home state, so you shipped them out of state. So that's why there's no sales tax collected with e-commerce. So if she said, say there were $3 tax, say your sales tax rate is 7%, I would do 3 divided by 0.07. Again, it wouldn't be 3 with $20. Let's see, 20 times. So say she had collected sales tax on this. It said 1.4, $1.40 of sales tax, and it shipped within Indiana. So if this said $1.40 in Shopify collected, what you would do is 1.4 or $1.40 divided by 0.07 sales tax rate. Then that gives you the number of gross sales. So to put in here. So see how the sales tax is $1.40 right there because I put in 20. So the way to find this is you want to book the taxable sales, which is the sales tax collected amount in Shopify right here, divide by the sales tax rate. That's what you're going to put in the taxable sales, and then the others. Then you're going to put your gross sales 20 here. So because there were no sales taxes collected here, I'm just going to put 20 here and 0 in taxable sales. But say she had one transaction that was collected sales tax and one that didn't, and so she collected $1.40 and there were $40 in gross sales. What I would do is you'd have $20 that were non-taxable and $20 that were taxable. So essentially all you're going to do is put the full gross sales in here minus whatever you've put in for this amount. So, you could have, if that said 40 in gross sales and she has 20, this says 40. If this were to say 40 in gross sales, say there's $1.40 in taxes, you would do 1.4 1.40 divided by 0.07. That give you 20. That'd mean you put 20 in here, and then for this, you would subtract the 20 out, if that makes sense. So you want these two to total the gross total in here. But what you're trying to account for taxable sales versus non-taxable sales. So that's where because there's no tax collected, I'm going to just put a 0 there. There were 0 discounts and 0 refunds. If there were discounts, say there's a $5 discount, I put -5. If there was $2.20 refunded, I put -220. So these are always negative, and these are what you'd see negatives right here for discounts or returns, refunds. So I'm going to put 0 here, 0 here. Next, I'm going to put shipping collected. So we want to track what we collected in shipping and not have that as part of just Shopify sales, because we want to track shipping expenses versus shipping collected to see. And this is huge for e-commerce businesses to be able to see what they're making or losing or breaking even on shipping. And so we put shipping collected. Now this is mapped to a shipping collected income account. Again, on my chart of accounts video, you'd be able to see that if you download the chart of accounts, or if you want us to set everything up for you, we can do that, and we can set all this stuff up so you're good to go. So there you go, shipping collected there. Now, what I like to do is, again, sales receipts can be the last day of the month. So because we're recording July sales, I'm just going to hit save right now just to save this, because the Shopify fees is the one thing that takes just a little bit more work here. And so what I'm going to do is save that. I would normally attach a PDF, but for some reason my computer's being slow. Let me see if it'll generate here. Okay, so what I'll do is just gonna attach that file that I just grabbed. I'm not gonna, but all you would do is click right here, attachments, select it from what you downloaded, and it'll upload that right to you, and then you hit it save, and it'll save a copy of that. So you've got a PDF copy of your Shopify sales receipt. Now, so here we go, $23 for July. The problem is what deposited wasn't $23, because what Shopify does is take the fees out, the Shopify fees out when they deposit the batch. So this 23 isn't going to agree with what hits the bank. One other thing is make sure the deposit to account is not your bank account, but this is going to go to your Shopify holding account. So think of the Shopify holding account where all your Shopify deposits and all your sales are going to go in that account, and it's a way that you can agree out to make sure that your books in Shopify match. So let's do the Shopify payments. Sorry, Shopify fees entry. Now you got to do a little bit more digging here. That wasn't until recently figuring some of this out of just how to do it even faster. So you can go into Shopify Payments, view payouts. Again, this is just if you're using Shopify Payments. And so what I like to do here is number 10. I'm just going to grab all this. So this is a record of batch transactions of the payout, and it'll say what what amount, what was the gross total, any refunds, adjustments, and then you'll see the fees. And what we're really interested in is getting those fee amounts. So the easiest way to get this out of Shopify, you can hit export, or what I like to do, and let me see if I can do this here, is I like to just copy it, and I don't select this last one because you'll see. And what I do is I just create a new Google Doc spreadsheet. If you don't use Google, you should. And I copy that and paste, and then we're not gonna need that data, but I'm just gonna put it in anyway. What was it? 7611. For some reason, just the way to get it straight from there to Google Drive, you just have to select only a limited thing. So what we have here are all the fees. So essentially here, August 2nd is going to be that deposit for July. But I'm just going to go ahead and record the fee with the July sale receipt here. Normally you would have a number of batch transactions, in these, and so normally I would take anything July, only just July fees. So these are all July, and I would just highlight these. You can see the sum here that you need to get to 422, but for this sake, I'm just, because I know this is for that one transaction, I'm just going to add, so it's 97 cents is the fee. So what I'm going to do is hit minus 0.97. So the net that you're going to have is 2203, right? And you'll see this completely agrees now with Shopify. What this is the amount that's going to hit the bank, 2203. Okay, so there you know that this agrees out your Shopify. Your Shopify account agrees out here. So we're just going to hit save. And that's all you would need to do for the sale receipt. You can then go to reports. Again, I haven't done this for earlier months, so I'm going to go in and do this for earlier months, so it's not going to be exact for this example. But I'm going to run a balance sheet. And what you'll see, again, oh, that's Square. I'm going to do another video if you sell with Square. Jamie uses Square for her events and Shopify for her e-commerce. Some people integrate both those. Like, you can use Shopify for both, or Square now has a e-commerce platform. I like to streamline it with one, but for now, we're just using both. Okay, so I just want you to see this. So see, this is the sale receipt, and then here's that deposit. So these two would zero out, and that's what you want to see. Now this would show, end of your balance, if we just had these in here, 731 would say Shopify Holding has 2203 in it, but that's correct because it hasn't hit the bank till August, so it doesn't zero out till it hits the bank. So, but what you want to see at the end of the month is just does this account agree? So anything, your end of month balance should be anything that you've recorded a sale in that month, but has not yet deposited into your bank account. I'll just show you a July. Again, we haven't done a lot of these other things, but I'll just show you how that entry looks on the profit and loss statement. I'm going to filter to July. So you see notebook sales 20, shipping collected here is discounts, Shopify fees are recorded right there. So that's your entry. Again, it takes a few minutes every month to do. I like this because you control how it gets. Sometimes with the sync apps, again, we've just seen things don't sync over. There's just discrepancy. I'm not anti those, but they're not as, if you've got a small store and you've got 5 to 10 minutes a month to make an entry, this gives you a great overview of your store for the month. Whereas all the nitty gritty details you need on sales by product, those kind of things, you can actually get on Shopify. And that's where my argument is, let's just keep the books accurate and simple. And then you can start with simplicity and build out complexity. So if you're interested, we also do setup. We do a lot of one-time setups just to get people's Shopify on the back end configured, as far as you've got sales tax stuff, the sync with QuickBooks, or your chart of accounts set up with QuickBooks, those kind of things. So we can save you about $300 on your QuickBooks Plus subscription for a year. We charge $500 for a one-time setup fee. And with this, what we'll do, we'll set up a custom chart of accounts. We'll help you set up all your Shopify. We'll give you best practices on how to get it all set up. And we'll do a 1-hour screen share of just helping you work through how to automate as much as possible on the book side and on your business. So there are challenges. You've got inventory, you've got cost of goods sold, you've got all those things. And so those are things that we touch on during a one-time setup, and then we're available for ongoing, check-ins if needed. So, All right. Hope that was helpful. Again, this is a real small store, but it's kind of helpful to see, and we'll continue putting out a few more videos just on how to automate some of these processes, and how to get Shopify and QuickBooks Online to agree without paying extra fees.